We are just a week away from the release of the latest Tomb Raider game in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and after the immense and positive critical reception of the first two Tomb Raider titles in this line after 2013's reboot, Shadow of the Tomb Raider looks to be the biggest and most expansive game in the franchise yet. In this video, we'll be taking a look at 15 huge things you need to know about Shadow of the Tomb Raider before you buy it. Some interesting facts about the story, some gameplay details, so without further ado, let's get right into this. Number 1, let's talk about the context of the game. Lara Croft travels to Mexico and later Peru in order to stop an apocalyptic event but ends up setting it into motion herself. Doing as such, she accidentally kills many innocent people and Trinity is once again involved and Lara vows vengeance against the organization for what they did to her father. This brings Lara into conflict with one of the leaders of Trinity, a man named Dr. Dominiguez. Number 2, one of the new gameplay elements that's been added to Shadow of the Tomb Raider that's very exciting to me is the wide variety of different difficulty options that let you customize the game to fit your exact playstyle. Typically, you'll see games with the standard easy, normal, hard, maybe very hard options, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider is taking that to the next level, allowing you to alter specific parts of the game. Combat will have specific settings with easy having aim assist enabled, enemies having lower health, at normal enemies have normal health, ammunition boxes are rare, and then at hard enemies have increased health, do more damage, there's no health regeneration in combat, and then there's finally Deadly Obsession, which will disable the HUD icon when Lara is detected. There's also options for exploration, an easy setting showing an obvious white paint to a critical path, and base camps being lit. On normal, there will be a discrete white paint, no survival instincts, camps are unlit, and then there's hard with no white paint, and there's even Deadly Obsession, which is same as hard, but camps are unlit and require resources to light, and you can only save the game while you're at a camp. Most exciting to me personally is the fact that puzzles will also have difficulty options, easy giving Lara direct hints, normal giving Lara general hints, and hard giving no hints. It's great to see Shadow of the Tomb Raider implement something like this. Hopefully a lot more games follow in suit so we can optimize games to how we want to play them. I'm always a big proponent of customization in your game, and customizing your playstyle in Shadow of the Tomb Raider is definitely going to offer that. Number 3, as we saw with Rise of the Tomb Raider, that was a much bigger game than the first Tomb Raider title, and it goes without saying that Shadow of the Tomb Raider will be a much bigger game than Rise of the Tomb Raider. This game's hub is said to be the largest in the franchise, which also reveals the hidden city of Paititi. Players can participate in side quests and missions and learn about the past, which provides a richer experience. A new barter system also allows players to trade resources, salvage parts, and weapons in the city.
And side missions. As Lara makes her way through Paititi, she'll visit multiple districts such as the fishing and residential areas. Lara can use her archaeologist skills to decipher murals. Doing so increases her translation ability and unlocks locations for hidden treasure and other secrets.
Number 4, outside of the difficulty options, there have also been numerous other adjustments made to the gameplay. The controls for swimming have been completely revised, as Lara is now able to hold her breath underwater for a longer period of time thanks to the introduction of air pockets. She also gains the ability to rappel down a cliff using ropes. Stealth becomes an important part of the game as well, with Lara being able to disengage from combat when she escapes from enemies' line of sight. Number 5, there will be a new immersion mode introduced to the game that enables players to hear background conversations of the locals in their native language. If you turn this mode off, the conversations are made in the player's chosen voiceover language, but if you want an added level of immersion, the immersion mode does sound pretty cool.
Mantats timpatik inkesh.
Number 6, just like past games, Shadow of the Tomb Raider allows players to hunt wild animals, craft materials using the resources collected, solve various puzzles, and explore optional tombs. The game will also feature more tombs than the previous installment, so that goes hand in hand to this being a bigger game than Rise of the Tomb Raider. You can also expect a lot more content on all regards. Number 7, we talked about stealth a little bit ago, but that is a big element of the new game. There's even a new mechanic of using mud as a form of camouflage. There are enemies in the water that can attack Lara while she is swimming, so you gotta be a little careful with that, and melee combat will also be expanded upon as Lara will now wield a machete as well as her climbing axe. Number 8, speaking of the weapons, the combat will once again allow Lara to carry 4 weapon types. You got a bow, a pistol, shotgun, and then your rifle and automatic. You'll also have the ability to use rope arrows in combat. Number 9, one form of collectibles in Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the fact that you can unlock outfits from older games in the franchise. This also appeared in Rise of the Tomb Raider, but the outfits we know so far in Shadow of the Tomb Raider include her appearances in Tomb Raider 2 and Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness. Number 10, recently we had some leaked screenshots of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and we saw some images of the game being playable at the Croft Manor. If you remember the past Tomb Raider games, the Croft Manor has been a big part of cutscenes and integral plot points. However, you usually don't directly control Lara within the Croft Manor. However, this time around, it does look like you'll be controlling Lara as a child. I imagine that this won't be a significant part of the game, but it'll be cool to actually explore the Croft Manor and play as Lara when she was younger, as that's been one of the big plot points of the entirety of the franchise. Number 11, another very exciting new feature that's being introduced is New Game Plus. So with New Game Plus, the work you've done will carry over into your next playthrough. This includes all skills, acquired weapons, outfits, equipment, upgrades, and gear. But even more exciting is after you hit New Game Plus, you can play the game utilizing different paths. These paths, once again, will optimize your playstyle in your game, but they will also unlock various rewards if you complete the game with the path enabled. Let's go over the paths. We've got Path of the Serpent, where your gameplay features an emphasis on stealth. You'll have to take down your foes one by one using sound and decoys to sow chaos among their ranks. Mud and camouflage lets you lash out your foes before slipping back into the shadows. There's Path of the Jaguar. Your gameplay features an emphasis on hunting and combat. Strike down your enemies with an unrivaled ferocity. Your agility and close range prowess tear through your enemies with knife takedowns. And lastly, we have Path of the Eagle. Your gameplay features an emphasis on traversal and resourcefulness. Observe your enemies from afar, scouting out to plan your next attack. Traverse with ease, attacking enemies from long range. So what's great about this is while the Tomb Raider games have been really good, I haven't really noticed an extreme amount of replayability. Outside of just wanting to go back and play through the games again, you're really not given reason to go back and play the games multiple times. Now you are with New Game Plus and these different paths, so this is a great addition for Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Number 12, this is going to be exciting news to some people, but it does look like that there will be some sort of crossover between Shadow of the Tomb Raider and Final Fantasy 15. We know that this crossover is coming soon. We have no idea what it is. Maybe Lara's gear will make some sort of appearance in FF15. Maybe we'll get some FF15 gear in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. That would be pretty cool. I could definitely dig Lara with the sword, but I think that would be a bit much. But just know that there is some FF15 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider crossover that is heading our way. Number 13, probably the most controversial point about Shadow of the Tomb Raider is its season pass and its DLC content. Even before we saw actual gameplay of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Square Enix thought it would have been a great idea to showcase their DLC and Season Pass plans for the game, which I just thought was a complete blunder, especially when you consider that the Season Pass content is quite sizable. It'll be coming out for 7 months and you'll get new content every month, and what exactly you'll be getting with the Season Pass across this time is 7 challenge tombs, 7 weapons, 7 outfits, and 7 skills, as well as multiple narrative side missions. I've already been very critical about this fact. Yes, I know a lot of games do Season Pass these days, but just the way Square Enix rolled it out, the amount of content this is, and the fact that it's coming directly after the release of the game, I'm just not a big fan of it. But I do know games like Marvel Spider-Man are also doing Season Pass content. I'm not a big fan of that either. If you're gonna do Season Pass content, at least give the game a little chance to breathe. Let us play the game, but I know that they're trying to sell the Deluxe Edition and the Collector's Edition, and they gotta promote all this additional content, but still, to me, it rubs me the wrong way. Next up, number 14, the Tomb Raider games have been very good from a technical side, visually and performance-wise. These games are a sight to behold, and it'll obviously be no different with Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and it was confirmed that you'll have the option to play at a high frame rate mode or a high resolution mode. We do know with the One X that you can play at 30 FPS at 4K in high resolution mode or 60 FPS at 1080p with high frame rate mode. I imagine that the PlayStation 4 Pro will have some sort of similar settings, but considering it is the Pro versus the X, the Pro is just a weaker console. It'll be interesting to see how Shadow of the Tomb Raider translates to the PS4 Pro opposed to the Xbox One X, but good to see that they are giving you 2 options depending on how you want to play the game. Lastly, number 15, the game will be releasing on September 14th for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and of course they will be enhanced for the One X and the PS4 Pro as we just mentioned, and a PC version will also be coming. However, if you do want to play the game a little bit early, you can pick up the Digital Deluxe Edition, and that'll get you access to the game 48 hours earlier. I'm not a big fan of games being available early if you drop a little bit of extra money, but this has become more of a regular. We see a lot of sports games do it, and now Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the latest game to do it. The digital deluxe edition, I believe, is $79.99. So there you go with that if you do want the game a little bit early. That is going to conclude this video. Let us know your thoughts. Are you picking up Shadow of the Tomb Raider next week, or are you just packed with games to play? Did you pick up games like Marvel Spider-Man, maybe Dragon Quest 11, and you've just got too many games to play, or is this a game that you're definitely going to be picking up? Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.